Well, this is exciting. So by a quick show of hands, how many of you feel like your organization makes it simple for employees to find what they need when they need it? Few? Not many? So by another show of hands, how many of you feel like the tools that you're using for onboarding, communications, culture, all work together in one seamless experience? Not many. You're not alone. So the way that we work has dramatically evolved. But the experience of work, how we engage, connect, and have access to what we need has not kept up. So today, I'm going to be talking about that evolution. It's not the kind that takes millions of years, but the kind of evolution that's happening inside of your companies every day. It's the never-ending evolution of how we work, communicate, engage, and build cultures that people actually want to be a part of. So across all industries, it's fair to say that we're seeing the same challenges. Teams are dispersed across locations, time zones, and offices. There's clearly fragmented communication channels with the current tech stack between portals, chats, and intranets. There's clear inconsistencies with employees' access to their tools, information, and HR resources overall. And quite frankly, the truth is that the technology that we've implemented has completely outpaced the experience. We've all added more tools, but not more connection. More systems, and not more clarity. And so in this mess of systems and logins, it's easy to forget the most important part of every organization, the people. So the question becomes for all of us, how do we humanize at scale in this digital-first world? Well, to me, humanizing doesn't mean just adding a wellness app or sending a survey at the end of the month asking employees how they're doing. Humanization comes from building systems and cultures where people feel informed, so they know exactly what's happening and where to go, where they feel valued, their voice is heard and their work is seen, and empowered to act without friction or frustration. So to do this, humanization has to mean creating a digital home for employees, because oftentimes we're not in the office together. And this has to be a place where they don't just log in, but they belong. So when your employees are truly informed, valued, and empowered, they're going to be able to perform at their absolute best. So I want to take this a step further and analyze the technology that employees are going to be using every day to elevate the employee experience. And so at Humand, we believe that the future of the employee experience is unified, where your human resources tools, communication, culture, learning management, performance management no longer live in silos. We believe that the future of employee experience is completely integrated, where your tools that I just mentioned talk to each other, not over each other. We believe that the future of employee experience is highly intelligent, where AI and data support your business decisions. And most of all, we believe that the future of employee experience is human-centered. So where do we start? Where can we lay the foundation in building this human-centered employee experience? Well, to us, it's all about the 3 C's: communication, connection, and culture. As people leaders, I want you to think about where your people are actually engaged. They're present in the same place that they're chatting with their managers, that they're sending recognition to peers, collaborating on projects. That's where the action's happening, and that's where your people are present. So I want you to all start thinking about meeting your people where they're actually at. Because when you put engagement first, every HR process and workflow follows naturally. That's how you guarantee your policies are read. Guarantee that compliance trainings are completed. Your surveys, they'll get done in time. And all of your workflows will land. The best way to ensure action as HR leaders isn't by adding another tool to the pile and risking low adoption again. It's by bringing your employees and everything into one digital home, where connection, culture, and communication are that driving engine. So through this culture of connection that I'm talking about, millions of users have found their home in Humand. But what do employees actually need from this digital home? I can tell you what they don't need. They don't need to know how many systems or tools are running in the back end. What employees want is clarity, simplicity, and exactly what they need to do their job without any friction. Employees want a space that feels completely designed for them and not for the system. They want a digital home. If they need to access their pay stubs, tap over here. If they want to submit PTO, tap over there. How about needing to see a critical company update? Click over there. And we believe that no workflow should be more than a tap or a click away. In this day and age of AI, time is a precious commodity. So we've implemented Sammy, our AI chatbot, to streamline employee workflows. There's no more searching or scrolling. If an employee needs to find a compliance training in their specific state at their location, they just ask Sammy, and she populates it. So employees can have access to what they need, when they need it, and even faster. So when you put this all together for the end user or the employee, they'll be present, engaged, and ready to act. That's the evolution. So we've built this whole product for the end user and built them a digital home. But admins work on the back end with all the essential HR workflows. So we have to think about them too. What does the admin need from this digital home? And what does this evolution look like for them? Well, we understand that many of you have already probably invested heavily into your current enterprise systems, your HRISs, your LMSs, your performance management tools. I think it's completely unfair to ask you to just rip and replace those investments. So at Humand, we take a different approach. Leading with connection, culture, and engagement first, we're not going to ask you to rip and replace those critical systems. What we're going to do is completely integrate with them. So we're not forcing you to change. Integrate with these existing systems that you already have so admins can focus on enhancing these tools that they already know and that they're comfortable with, while the end user gets to break through this complicated web of applications in a single digital home. It's a win-win. So this is what a digital home looks like. Everything in one place. And I feel like just like a physical home, your digital home deserves care, attention, the occasional refresh. And so we built this with the understanding that your organization is ever evolving, and this digital home is built to evolve with you. So we're not going to lock you into a rigid way of working. Rather, you can turn on or off any of our homegrown modules, integrate them with your existing systems, but the end goal is that your users will have a single access point to access everything inside of your organization. Because the employee experience, just like a home, isn't static. It's always evolving, and Humand is designed to evolve with you. The next piece of this evolution is about understanding what's actually happening inside of your company. Because all of our modules and all of your systems run through Humand, you can finally see the full picture. Siemens wanted to build a digital home for their workforce, and they wanted to see the full picture of the entire employee experience. So we built them their digital home for their global workforce. Leading with the 3 C's, putting culture, connection, and communication first, Siemens achieved a 98% adoption and engagement monthly rate. In their HR teams, 95% of their workflows that they sent out to end users globally were completed. So on the back end, because the entire employee journey flows through one place, Siemens is able to see exactly what's working, what's missing, and where they need to evolve next. No more guessing, just actionable data that reflects the entire employee experience. So this all comes back to, the core of employee evolution, which is a better access point for all. How many of you flew into Austin for this event I did? One in the back. Well, I want you to imagine how an airport works. The air traffic controller sits up in the tower with access to every piece of information and critical system. They see the weather, they see the radar, they see who's landing and who's taking off. They manage the entire flow of traffic, and they're trained how to do it. But the pilots in the cockpit don't need access to every system, every piece of information. What the pilots need is the critical information delivered to them in one consolidated, tailored dashboard in their plane. That's what keeps them safe, aligned, and able to focus on their individual aircraft. So I want you to picture your organization. Your admins, they're the air traffic controllers. They have their set of complex systems, the HRISs, the LMSs, performance review, the intranets, the list goes on. And your admins are trained exactly how to use those systems. And what we're saying is those workflows don't need to change. But your employees, they're the pilots. They don't need every back-end detail. What they need is a single access point, a clear, intuitive system so they can focus on their job. That's the evolution. It's not about ripping and replacing your existing systems, but creating the right access point for the people who need it the most, your employees. When our founders started Humanizing, I asked them before I came here, why did you build this company and this product? And they said it was to answer one simple question. Why is it so hard for employees to be truly connected at work? And they believe that communication, culture, and connection aren't something that you can just tack on at the end or put on a bulletin board. It's something that you all as leaders have to weave into every interaction, every workflow, and every moment of the employee journey. And so today, that vision powers 1.4 million monthly users across 40 countries and 13 different languages. But the belief that started it all still holds true. With the right tools, culture and connection can thrive. So these logos understand the importance of the employee evolution. And you all know that, I want you all to know that this evolution doesn't just happen. It's designed, it's shaped, and it's led by you all. As human resources leaders, as people leaders, you are the architects of your employees' experience. You're the ones who can connect everyone, ensure action, and create a unified home. You're the ones who are able to bridge the gap between the disconnected systems and logins. So I want to leave you with a few points. When your employees are truly connected and informed, and your admins are able to operate in the systems that they know and trust, your organization won't just function, it'll flourish. 20 minutes isn't enough to explore, obviously, your guys' organizations and how we can build this at your companies. But give this QR code a scan, and it'll be routed directly to my email. I intend on chatting with each and every one of you. And the future of human resources isn't paperwork or policies, it's experiences. So, thank you.